Nu vill jag kunna ge tillbaka allt jag inte kunnat ge förut. Det finns ingen annan där som kan stå här by my side, oh why. Sättet du rör på det får mig att dö för dig baby. För de här yardis, de vill ju bara dra ner oss. Men du är fett och vanlig. Och det jag lägger är min tid och jag vill ha dig. Du får mig känna safety. Jag kan nog leda dig baby. Och jag kommer aldrig ändra mig.
Welcome.
Aldrig. Kommer aldrig känna så här för någon annan än dig.
Hey.
Aldrig. Kommer aldrig känna så här för någon annan än dig.
Greetings, goddesses. How are y'all doing? What can I say? I love music. You can't just use any music on YouTube's, on the interwebs, on YouTube. So, it's like, hey, I got to get what I can. I like that. I try to bring Afro beats. I just love the sound. So I hope that you enjoyed that little musical interlude or intro. How are you? I'm Tyra Omilade, your goddess guru, your sister friend. And I love helping women align with their life purpose using the power of ancient wisdom and the goddess-centered lifestyle. And I always love coming on and sharing the astrology as well as an oracle reading. You know why? Because when we begin to align with the ancient wisdom of our ancient mothers, they always use things like astrology and the oracles and intuition, because this is what makes women powerful, is leaning into the feminine way. So that's what we do here. We're reaching back and grabbing tools and wisdom from ancient times, bringing them into modern times so that we modern women can operate from our truth, the power that lies within us in our own special way as women. But you know what? Just to keep it simple, we want to be happy. We want to have some peace. And that's what we're here about. That's what I want to help you all with today. How are you doing? How is the G Hive? If you're new here, first of all, welcome. I'm so happy that you are here. This is a community. And so, yeah, you're a part of the community. And I just want to say G Hive stands for Goddess Hive. So how's the G Hive doing out there? We have gone back to having our weekly circles on Wednesday morning at 9:15 a.m. Pacific time. And so, yeah, y'all join me this upcoming Wednesday, and we will get together and have our Inspire Goddess morning circle. Otherwise, let's just go on ahead and jump into today. Y'all know I typically have an announcement. So let me just start with that, and then we'll get started with the astrology. Can we do that? I appreciate you. So I want to just share that the Ultimate Life Hacking Bundle is open. So, wow, I was looking through here and there's so many different courses, so in classes and tools that you can download, self-care, a lot about mental health. We know that that's a big deal for people who are involved in things with the holidays, just trying to keep it simple that way. All kinds of things about health and wellness. We created this bundle because we're just like I talked about in the beginning, we want to help women. This is for anybody, but it's mostly women just putting things in this bundle. We want to help everyone live better. And there's so many talented people who created special tools that are here to support you in your life. And so what I put in this particular bundle is my spiritual foundations class. And guess what? You don't have to pay one red penny for it if you go through the bundle. The link to join is in the description box, and you can download from October 21st through the 24th. So there's a deadline for enrolling, and don't download everything. Don't do it. Just go through that. This is actually page number 2. And you could just go through and it's kind of like, okay, eco-mindful living workbook. Okay, that sounds like something I want. But 30-day relationship, maybe that doesn't apply to you. Maybe that one applies to you and this one doesn't apply to you. So don't download everything. This is page number 2, if you can believe it. I was like, wow. Cord cutting for moms. That's my friend Janie's class. I have two other friends, Deborah Sledge and Consuelo. They also are here in this bundle. So thank y'all for letting me share that with you. I really appreciate you. Um, so we had that full moon last week in Aries. I always kind of like going back and looking to see what happened. How was that full moon for you? That full moon was rough for a lot of people. We're still actually feeling that full moon right now, I believe. That full moon had people on they like on point. Folks were having to really just focus. It was a lot coming up with that full moon for some people. So, yeah, that actually, we talked about that full moon in my the Inspired Goddess Morning Circle last week, and at that moment, I was going through some things like, oh my gosh, this moon has me like it's a hot, fiery moon. It's kind of like, come on, I'm gonna need you to move. I'm gonna need you to think. So, come on, let's do this. How was that? Okay, also we have Venus now in Sagittarius. So, one thing about Venus being in Sagittarius, anytime we have planets in Sagittarius, it can lift the mood. It can give us hope, it can give us optimism, it can help us to have faith. Man, Venus in Sagittarius, that's a beautiful, beautiful placement. And Venus is this planet that has to do with good fortune. She's very positive in her outlook. And so, good fortune, it's all about relationships and money, appearance. Venus is also about the emotions. She's an emotional planet, one of two feminine planets. And so, with her being in this planet that has to do with the vision and hope and optimism, faith, um, growth and expansion. It also is this energy around belief system. And actually, Sagittarius is a good luck sign. And it's a spiritual sign also. And to a certain degree, it has to do, not to a certain degree, it does have to do with the laws of the universe. So it's like this Venus in Sagittarius can bring some energy around like, I know it might be hard, but I have so much hope. I have so much faith. And you might actually experience some good fortune as you go. Sometimes when we're dealing with Sagittarius, this sentence, this quote, I heard Wayne Dyer say it, so I'm going to give him credit for this. When you change the way you look at things, the way you look at things change. That's the kind of energy that Venus in Sagittarius can help with. Sometimes nothing changes except for the way we see it. And when you change, say for instance, if you see something that's like, this is really hard, this is bad, this is unfair, this happening in your life, it puts you in a certain energy. It puts you in a certain mindset. When you look at it as a challenge, it's like something for you to a certain degree, like conquer. It's like, yeah, this might be tough, but I can do it. And it might be the exact same thing that you're working on, but to look at it as a problem versus a challenge, it totally changes how it feels on the inside. And then when you look at it as an opportunity, which is Sagittarius, then it's like, oh, wait a minute. Hard as crap, opportunity. I'll tell y'all what just came to my mind. When my mother died, just one day I had a thought pop in my head. Oh, okay. So I didn't realize how much I depended on my mom for everything. I guess I got to get my own relationship with God, which I thought I had one. But after my mom passed, it was like, oh, you know, lemons, which I love lemons, honey, but we know lemons are tart and they can be a little bit bitter too if you get the some that are bitter. I was like, "Yeah, mom died. Lemons. Lemonade, this is an opportunity for me to create my own connection to the divine." So, yeah, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change, and Venus is kicking us off with that particular transit. Let's see here, Mercury. Where's Mercury? Mercury's in Scorpio, so Mercury's not there yet. Okay, so Mercury's in Scorpio, and then on the 22nd of October, the sun goes into Scorpio, which happy birthday to all of the Scorpios. Oh my goodness. Okay, my birthday is not Scorpio, but I am a Scorpio rising. To all the Scorpio moons, this is our time, baby. We just have Venus here. Okay. So now we have Mercury and the sun coming through, lighten up our sign. Come on, y'all. All the Scorpios. So yeah. But Scorpio, baby, Scorpio's like we getting ready to go dark. I mean deep, and it's gonna be dark. Get your flashlights out because we're going down into the muck and the mire. We're going down into the pain. All right. But then Scorpio's like, but look, don't worry about it because guess what we're going to do? We're going to tap into the power within. We're tapping into your inner power, baby. It's all covered up with this muck and this mire. So, yeah, when we go into Scorpio, it's the darkness before we get to Sag, which is the light. And Sag is all about looking at the pinnacle. It's looking out into the future and it can see the big picture. Scorpio is you've been down in the depth. I have recently learned about Persephone. Persephone went down, 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 deep into Hades. And that's where she found her power. She didn't even want to leave. Her mom was like, come back, Demeter, come back. The father had sold her, given her, maybe he didn't sell her, but he did do a little trade with Hades and sent Persephone down into the darkness, the pit. And, she got down there and was like, actually, I'm a queen down here. She owned her power. That's where the depths of, when we're in the depths of life and things are rough and they're hard, what ends up happening is this is where we find our power. I'll tell you something else. Where are you struggling in your life? Where you are struggling, that's where you find your power. You struggling in relationships. This is a teaching that I learned from somebody, and I find it to be empowering. So I hope it's empowering to you. But essentially, if we buy into, and I do talk about this in my spiritual foundations class, if we buy into we are all divine energy in a body, and part of the human existence is to come into this energy of forgetfulness. And part of what we're here to do is to awaken. That's why we talk about waking up. Wake up to what? Well, we're asleep because divinity had to create this state in this physical, plane of forgetfulness. Otherwise, we wouldn't come down here and do anything but just be our divinely powerful selves. We all are divine reflections and emanations of the one divine consciousness. Whatever name you call it, I call it the great divine as well as the great mother. Some people call it the Holy Father, whatever. It's one energy, and we all are that energy in form. We are that energy in form. We are never separated from the divine. But it seems like you're you and me, I'm me. And it's like, oh, but the truth is, it's just part of the being a human. So part of what we come here to do, like this is a grand adventure to be here in the space-time continuum. And so part of what we come here to do is to have an adventure. And we want to tap the power. We hide our power. We hide our power somewhere. And so this is where I'm going. The question is, where did you hide your power? And oftentimes it's the area where we struggle the most. And this is what Scorpio is about. Scorpio is about helping you to tap the power within. And this is one of those times where so many of us, it's not even just Scorpio, it's other things going on in the astrology that's asking us to tap the power within. And so I want you to think about the areas where you struggle the most. Again, might be an opportunity there for you to go into that energy instead of avoiding it, go into it and know the more you stick and stay with working through that problem, working through that challenge, essentially on the other side, there lies your power. This has already happened to you multiple times. I already know this. I already know there was something that you thought you couldn't achieve, you weren't going to overcome, and baby, you did, right? Happens multiple times. So that's what Scorpio is really about, okay? And we have Mercury and this week, Scorpio, the sun moving in Scorpio. Now, Scorpio is about money, resources. So some people might be looking for a loan, pay off debt. There could be something around inheritance, taxes, grants. Um, what else? There's one more I want to give: fellowship, scholarships, things like that. Money topics could definitely be coming up. Now, Scorpio is definitely about intimacy. Scorpio wants to be intimate, but only with a few select people. If you ask a Scorpio, most Scorpios are like, even the most friendly Scorpios are like, yeah, it takes me a long time to, really deeply connect, because when Scorpios connect with people, it's almost like Scorpios will own you. They don't mean to own you, but it's just this sign where it's like it gets deeply attached. But some people are dealing with lack of intimacy, lack of that depth and attachment. And so Scorpio is a time for either one. Some people may just want to go deeper in the relationships that they're in. Some people may want to look at, why am I struggling with um, intimacy? Why am I struggling with this? Now, another one is trust. Another topic around Scorpio is trust. And so, yeah, I want y'all to be thinking about, if you are having trust issues, Scorpio season is one of those seasons where you can really do a deep dive into trust issues. Lastly, I see Scorpio as a sign that's about um, deep, deep self-care, radical self-care. So Venus already kind of kicked that off, and maybe Mercury and the sun will help bring that about. Mercury is going to be working on the mind. So some of us may want to be doing some mental health TLC this month. And then once the sun comes there, now the last little part I'm going to give you about Scorpio is in everyone's natal chart. Everyone has a natal chart. So like everyone has an Aries house and a Taurus house, okay? But you can see Scorpio is over here in this chart. But like for me, Scorpio is on the first house. Each one of these little sections is one of 12 houses. Some people might have Scorpio on the eighth house, or well, that's the eighth house right there. Maybe the 11th house, or maybe the fourth house. So when the sun goes into your house, we look at it according to the sign, but also according to the house. And of course, you have to know a little bit of astrology, but it could be highlighting an area of challenge for you. And it may not have anything to do with, trusting other people, but maybe there's some area of life where trust is coming up. Maybe if it's on the 10th house, if Scorpio is on the 10th house, that, say for instance, is Aquarius, might be something around lack of trust of people that you're working with, or trust issues around people you're working with, or you're working and to get a grant. So it's going to kind of highlight an area of life also. And it's an area where there's something maybe deep. Scorpio is about research. So maybe you might, it's this energy of obsession. So just kind of pay attention to where you feeling kind of pulled and you feel a little obsessed about. Then that's something that Scorpio could be bringing up for you. Now, we also have this week Mercury trine Saturn. So this is energy that we're having after having a little bit of downtime from having a lot of small transits, but we needed that break. First of all, we had an eclipse at the top of the month, and then that full moon in Aries, that was a lot of energy. So we needed a break. So we're just kind of coming back into getting some energy going. And Mercury trine Saturn, it's a great combo, in my opinion, because it brings sobriety of the mind. You know, Sun in Scorpio, Mercury in Scorpio, it will bring this very get real type of energy, especially mixed with Saturn, very sound and sober. But you want me to tell you something? This could bring some type of spiritual communication. Maybe you are sharing some type of spiritual downloads, or you're hearing some spiritual communication and downloads come to you, because both of these planets are in water signs. But Mercury is very busy, and it's the mind. Um, it's like maybe you want to have a to-do list, the 21st, the 22nd, and the 23rd. And then Saturn is like step by step by step. And it's not going to let you just run and just do all kinds of things like Mercury likes to do. It's like, hey, come here. Where's your to-do list? Okay, we got to get to where's the to-do list? Now, have you done number one on your to-do list? Okay, don't do anything else until you get number one done. That's it, literally, I hadn't even looked at the astrology yet. That's literally what happened to me today. I was like, get this to-do list. You can see, well, maybe you can't see, but I had started my to-do list. I was like, I need to get that together. So that's something that you can experience. But yeah, and it's kind of like, uh, yeah, it could bring this energy of ease. It could bring this energy of kind of like you're feeling mentally well. So then we're going to have the Sun square Pluto. Now, this is a little rough. It's kind of like that energy that I talked about um, with, what am I trying to say? Scorpio, because Pluto is pretty similar to the energy of Scorpio. And when the Sun squares Pluto, this actually can bring a little bit of crisis. Now, that Mercury trine Saturn might make it so that it's kind of like, oh, we can deal with this. We got it, you know? But the Sun square Pluto, it could for sure bring some type of crisis because it's meeting on the 29th degree, one in Libra and one in Capricorn. So it definitely could bring some crisis in terms of like um relationships. It could bring some type of power and control topics there, maybe even with people you work with. Yeah, a boss, somebody who is in a leadership position. It could bring a little bit of, um, it's kind of like a square off where you're kind of like, I'm not taking it anymore. Or if you are the boss, you might have an employee who's kind of like, I'm not taking this from you anymore. We're gonna go toe to toe on this, you know? Square energy brings action. So yeah, it's definitely you could feel like there's this energy of let me get some things done. Um but the sun illuminates things. So it might be maybe you forgot and the sun comes and meets Pluto and it illuminates this big old mess that you've needed to work on and you're like, "Oh my goodness, I need to take care of this," right? It could be something where it's like this is totally out of balance. Typically with Pluto, nothing is in balance. Nothing. Pluto is making everything go into chaos. Everything's out of balance. Um, Pluto is a planet that has to do with uh, the generations. So it actually could be. I mean, in the United States right now, this probably doesn't even sound like I'm making a prediction because we know on any given day, there's something stressful being reported in the news. But I do want to just say it could bring up something, maybe Congress, something with Congress, because that's Libra. Libra often is the Congress, or maybe something with any peace talks or negotiations that need to be worked out could be something that there's a lot of energy around that happening. So yeah, don't be surprised if we hear something like that in the news. So yeah, that's all we need for the first 3 days of this week. I'm like, oh my gosh, first 4 days of this week. But I will say I do love that Mars is meeting with Uranus on the 24th. So we'll feel that the 23rd, 24th, and 25th. So this is a supportive meeting in the sky, and they bring energy. They bring this it's like you're going leaps and bounds. There's a lot that could happen with this because they're very, very much like energized and charged up. Mars is fire and Uranus is electricity. It's a sextile, so I'm hoping that there's no storms that we hear about. Maybe there'll be news about a storm is coming and then all of a sudden it goes away because it's a supportive, let me say it that way, a supportive transit between these two, but you can definitely get a lot done. So I'm saying this week is a week where you can get quite a bit done. So that's super exciting. Um, and you can make leaps and bounds. You might want to just it's a sextile, so I'll say it anyway. You might want to just be intentional with how you move because you could be moving so fast. Sometimes um accidents happen. Uranus is the planet where you kind of something unexpected could happen, but you'll like it. You'll like it. Let's see here. Mars is in Cancer. So this one actually could bring something like some intuitive nudge comes to you, and whatever it is, you take action on it and it up levels your money or something like that. It also could be something is happening and you are feeling really good about yourself. This could be a time actually between these two planets. I mean, these are not soft planets, but they're in soft signs because Mars is in Cancer and Uranus is in Taurus. Both of those are nurturing, caring signs. So it might be, it's like, oh, I just want to take care of myself, or somebody is like, hey, I want to treat you to lunch, or let's go together and go to the spa together, do something healing with other people. And it definitely could bring this energy of like you're feeling good about yourself. You're feeling kind of like valued or something like that. But it definitely does kind of bring this energy of action and something happening all of a sudden. So I like the astrology for this week. I do. I do. I do. I do. I am gonna go on ahead and just do the one for the 28th, just in case I don't make the recording until the 29th. Mars trine Neptune, beautiful, very soft energy again. Um, you know what? I want us to pay attention. Actually, I want to just backtrack. Hold on. I want to go back to Mars sextile Uranus because Mars is going to retrograde really, really soon at the top of December. It eventually is going to meet these planets again. And so I want you to pay attention to what happens on the 24th. And I want you to pay attention to what happens on the 28th. Let me see, is there anything else that Mars, I think it's going to be Mars and Pluto. Mars opposition Pluto. Okay, so that's November the 3rd because all of these planets are pretty close to the same degree in each sign that they're in. And Mars retrograde is going to interact with them three more times. So, to a certain degree, that is going to affect all of us. So, I want y'all to pay attention to what comes up for you the 23rd, 24th, and 25th of October, as well as the 27th, 28th, and 29th. It could give or take a little bit more. You might notice something beyond these days, give or take 2 days or so. And then around the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th of November, I want you to pay attention to what's going on. Now, the other thing too is Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. Again, these are all planets that actually more create change and shifts on the community level, the collective level. So these are days where we could for sure be hearing about something happening in the world on a grand scale. Let's see here. Now, Mars sextile Uranus, Mars trine Neptune. Those are favorable transits. They are positive. So um, it's like there's this action. This is interesting now that I think about it. There's like Mars is saying, hey, we've got to go in a certain direction. We've got to be passionate. We've got to have focus. We got to move. We got to go. We got to go. And uh, it's so what is it working on with Uranus? Well, Uranus has to do with banking. I'm looking at thinking about more of a collective thing, money, that kind of thing. So Mars sextile Uranus, maybe we'll hear the stock market has reached even higher heights than it's reached. Um, I mean, it's just I don't know much about the stock market, but I hear it had its highest day ever here lately. So it could literally be something like that. And then when it connects with Neptune here on October the 28th, then Neptune is definitely like miracles and spirituality. It's also the ocean. So, or islands, maybe some people who are living in the islands, we'll hear good reports about them. It's definitely like an island situation. It could be something around people getting more time to be at ease and to relax and heal. Again, Neptune and Uranus are in signs that could be healing. So, interesting. Something around healing. There's like this healing that's coming into the world on some level. Trying to think of anything else I can think of with Neptune. Neptune is associated with spirituality, churches. Oh, also people who do charitable work. So maybe Mars is going to bring a blessing. There's going to be a blessing that happens for those groups, which I hope, because yeah, I work for a nonprofit and it is struggling. Um, okay, then Mars is going to oppose Pluto. So this is it. We won't see Mars interact with Pluto again. I don't think. Hold on, let me just see something real quick. Mars oppose uh let's see here. Pluto goes. I'm trying to see when does Pluto go back. Let's see here. Yeah, Pluto goes back into Aquarius for good. It will not go back into Capricorn. So this is the last hoorah rah. Oh my God. This is the last hoorah rah. Mars, when it comes back and opposes Pluto, once it's done with the retrograde, or as it goes through its retrograde, Pluto will be in Aquarius. Pluto will be in Aquarius. So up here where Mars is opposing Pluto, let me tell y'all, get ready. I think that's going to be a significant day. Well, it could be. I'm going to give it. Yeah, we're going to include that new moon in Scorpio. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We're going to just kind of go out. Oh, goodness. November the 5th. So yeah, Mars is like, we're getting ready to go toe to toe Pluto. I actually need to go back and look and see when was the last time that Mars opposed Pluto. It was about 2 years ago. So, but anywho, definitely we could be seeing something happen on the world level. It definitely could be something. It's something about opposition, people opposing one another. Mars is in. It'll be on the 29th degree. Wow. Now I just have to tell y'all the truth. Sometimes I don't want to tell y'all things like this, but I'm going to tell y'all. That could be a time. It's just like that Pisces full moon that we had. What was that? In September, I think. And I really want y'all to know that sometimes people going back to the ancestor world is greatly increased during these times because it's Cancer and Capricorn that we're dealing with. And so I had an astrology teacher say all souls come in through, doesn't matter what your sign is, we come in through Cancer and we exit out through Capricorn. And then we have these two planets that are like truly the way they interact with one another is just like explosion and not dissolution, it's like the destruction of things, it's change and transformation, and they're meeting on the 29th degree. So that could be a time, and it kind of like kicks it off where we can just be like, well, a lot of people going back to the ancestral world, but trust me, folks having babies all over the place. It's such a big outflux because it's some babies just trying to come in. They need room. And I probably shouldn't laugh because, losing your loved one is not funny, but I just had a mental picture in my mind. The little baby's like, I'm ready. Come on. Create some room for me down there. Um, wow. Woo. So yeah, check on everybody during that time. Check on everybody. If someone crosses your mind, don't think, oh, I'll call them later. Pick up the phone, send that text, message them however you can. Get in the car, go see them. Check on people Friday, November the 1st through Wednesday. Look, we're just gonna take it to the 7th. We're gonna do it for a full week, okay? Um, so and then Venus is gonna square Saturn. That actually could be a little bit of a challenge in terms of relationships. You could kind of get jarred, or maybe you feel blocked in a relationship, something like that. Um, but a square always kind of pushes you. So maybe somebody who you're in a relationship with could be love, just could be a relationship. You have, a close relationship with somebody and they say something or they do something. You just like, I'm done. This is it. Maybe you need to put up a boundary at that time, or maybe you are, you're just kind of like, yeah, we need some ground rules here. Right. So it could be something like that. Venus is in Sag, could be kind of sort of like you believed one thing and then something happens and you're like, I don't know if I believe this or not. Right? You could have some doubt going on during that time. And it could even be doubt around like feeling not good about yourself, feeling a little bit challenged, like, do I believe in myself or not? But transits come and they go, and sometimes they just kind of reveal what's there so that we can work on it. Okay. So let me do the reading for you all. And one moment. Okay. So I feel like I pulled this one card. I'm pulling from my Mythical Goddess Tarot deck. I feel like I pulled this card last week. This is the Fire Child, and it's all about having that creative spark. And oh well, with Venus being in Sagittarius, I can see why this could be repeating itself. Um, yeah. So there's a spark of creativity that we are being called to experience at this time. So yeah, where can you do that? And again, I think what we talked about last week was the importance of connecting with your inner girl, tapping into your inner child. And I know I have been really paying attention. It seems easier for me when my sons were children. Um, because children just are naturally that way, but I don't hang out with any children right now. So I'm like, wow, I really need to do something to have more childlike wonder and fun. So yeah, that's what I'll say about that. Okay, so interesting because we've talked about Mars quite a bit. So I pulled the Sea Maiden card, and she's all about passion. So the question is, What are you passionate about this week? What are you passionate about? Let's see, what else does she have to say? Now, I think it's interesting that I pulled the child card first, and then I pulled the maiden card. So there's definitely something about a little bit of lightness that we need to have, a little bit more lightheartedness and yeah, having fun, being creative. Interesting. This card is connected with Cancer. So let me tell you what she says. It says the powerful and abundant heart flow of the Maiden of Seas is sourced in the water of her feelings, and she's totally energized with emotional passion. She holds the passion flower above her head in tribute to her exuberant vitality. She is ecstatic in sexual energy and emotional fertility, all within healthy boundaries. And here's again something about a creative flow. So, creativity, the Sea Maiden's full creative flow of passion is yours to experience. You are here to let your heart energy regenerate your emotions and your world. Your passion is key, is the key to let the dormant feelings arise from your core into vitality, creating the life that you long for and deserve. So, you want to tap into your passion. And when you do, the energy of that begins to open up a door within you. And that door helps you to, first of all, have vitality. And it also helps you to continue to create more of the life that you desire. Queen, come on. So, my question is, how are you tapped into your passion? Are we just on our phones? I don't have my phone in here. Are we just scrolling and watching other people be passionate, living vicariously through other people's passions? We just watching video after video, just sitting around watching TV, just watching everybody else be passionate, and we're living vicariously through their passion? Or are you actually being passionate about something? And sometimes it's just a choice. You just decide, I'm just going to be passionate about this. I knew nothing about belly dance. And then I just decided, you know what? I'm going to learn belly dance. That's just what I'm going to be passionate about. I'm very passionate about astrology. You don't have to do much to get me going about astrology. So, interestingly, the last one I pulled is from the Major Arcana. This is the Crow Woman, and she's all about sacred law. Seems like I mentioned something about the law earlier. I don't know what I said, y'all. But let's see what Crow Woman has to say. And she kind of has a little bit of a crone, mama crone energy, but let's just see for sure. Because I don't really, I've pulled this card multiple times for myself here lately, but I can't remember. First of all, she's Native American and she is guardian of the sacred law. And let's see here. Creator of the world. Okay. Her domain is the great void. I think I pulled this card last week too. And I promise you, I have used my deck multiple times. All right. Multiple times. So the fact that I believe she spoke last week, this is significant along with that little child. Because I remember talking about this great void. Okay. Um, Shapeshift. She can shapeshift her form into anything she desires. And I remember it's all about shape-shifting your circumstances. And how do we shapeshift? Number one, we're gonna be tapping into our vitality through our passion, our creativity, and then two, connecting with that inner child, which is also about this energy of creativity. Children are very imaginative. And so one of the things that I'll tell you, as I think about the goddess Het Haru as well as Oshun, is they are this energy of creative solutions. It's all about tapping into your imagination and your inner creativity that can help you come up with the solution that you're looking for. We know the goddess Oshun is a shapeshifter energy, just like the crow woman. And so, what is shape shifting? How do we shape shift ourselves? Let's talk about that, sisters. Part of the way we shape shift ourselves is we understand that we have an identity by which we live. And all you have to do is just think about, I am fill in the blank. Think of a noun or two that you have, you know, an identity attached to. I'm a mother, I'm a daughter, whatever your profession is, I'm a teacher, I am an attorney, I am a nurse, whatever, right? And so, whatever that identity is that you assume and own and live according to, this is what is going to dictate what is possible for you in your life. And when you want something new and you want something different, every day you have to make a decision that you are a different person. And something that I like to say as I shape shift out of problems, perceived problems, is I'm no longer available to this. When I say that, it's like, you know what? It's just it's done. I'm not dealing with this anymore. And in that moment, I just become somebody who that's just a problem that doesn't show up in my life anymore, right? If someone is struggling in relationships, at some point you have to begin to tell yourself, "No, I'm good with relationships. I'm real good." And then you start selling yourself on that because part of the reason we sell ourselves on these identities that limit us is because there's so much proof out there, right? Oh, I know I'm bad at relationships because I have this proof. Well, at some point, you have to say, well, I'm going to find different proof. I'm going to create different proof. It's one of the reasons when we think about this energy of Venus and Sag, we want to sit down every day and give thanks. We want to have a gratitude practice because when we do that, it starts putting things in perspective. Like, no, like I got good friends out here. Like I tell people all the time, if you find one good friend in your life and that's all you ever have, but that friend is loyal to you, sticks with you through thick and thin, you stick with her or him through thick and thin, or them through thick and thin. That's a gift like no other. Having a bunch of friends is neither here nor there. There's no meaning, right? Or sometimes it's like people have one good love relationship. I mean, this thing was special. I mean, if you get it one time, I believe people could get it multiple times. That's a gift, right? And sometimes we just have to stop and take stock. Like I did have a good relationship at some point, even though it may feel like it's not there now. But how do you assume a new posture around relationship or career or place of living when it comes to traveling, when it comes to the work that you do, maybe being aligned with your gifts, your talents, your purpose, right? Whatever it is that you are desiring, at some point you have to begin to shape shift through identity. And it's initially, it may not just bring about the results that you want immediately, but if you do not allow yourself to step out of the current reality in terms of how you identify, then you're going to continue to get the results of that particular identity. So I just want y'all to begin to think about that. The other way to shapeshift is if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Okay. So I want you to, yeah, I really want you to consider how do you shapeshift your um, current experience. I'm going to tell y'all one last thing that just came to me. So I want us to understand. We talked about this Pluto energy, so much energy around change and transformation and tapping into your power this week, really over the next 2 weeks. Also Scorpio. We're going into the season of Scorpio. I want you to believe that you have the power to change your life. The only person who can change your life is you. I want you to have that belief. no matter the proof of all how you have failed in your life, I don't care that you've succeeded more than not. I know this to be true. I just do. If you watching me, I know it to be true. The best women on the face of the planet watch this YouTube channel. That's just how it is, and that is you. But we do have the proof of all the things that we just messed up. But the power in shape-shifting our problems in life circumstances that we don't like lies in, if I want this to change, then I must change something inside of me, and that something inside of me is gonna make all this change. You've already done it once, at least once. You've probably done it multiple times. So I know you know what I'm talking about, sis. I know you know what I'm talking about. So, wow, there's something about this creativity, and I want y'all to tap into the energy of the goddess Oshun. I really do. I want you to tap into Oshun because Oshun is this energy of the shapeshifter, and she is the energy of creativity. And I want you to let me know, what did that look like? So for me, tapping into Oshun, because I know some people are like, who is this Oshun? First of all, I have a video on my channel. I'll make sure I link it in the description box once I upload this video. You can learn a little bit more about Oshun. But this Oshun energy is definitely about doing something creative. Just go do something fun and creative, just for the sake of it. When you begin to tap into this energy of creativity, it actually opens up deep, deep wisdom. That is what Oshun is. People try to make Oshun like a party girl, but Oshun is actually deep, deep wisdom. She actually birthed a divination system within this particular African tradition. So, yeah, that's what I want y'all to do. I want y'all to work with Oshun. I want you to do something creative this week. And yeah, that's what I have for you all. So thank y'all so, so much for being here. I'm just going to bring the life hacking back up really quickly. I would love it if you joined us in this bundle. It's by an Empowered Slacker Society event by Faith Mariah. She's a coach I've worked with 3.5 years, I think now. So, yeah, so many great downloads. And we love doing this around this time of the year because it's, a lot of us are in that season where we're kind of going within. And so there's so many tools here in the life hacking bundle that will help you to, go within, do the work that you want to do on the inside. Look, we have one here for pet care. It's everything here, sis. It's everything. And you get my spiritual foundations class at no additional charge. So join the bundle. I'm really excited about this class. I worked very, very hard to recreate the class, and I love it. It's all audio. So yeah, thank y'all for letting me share that again. And yeah, so I'm wishing you all a wonderful, wonderful week. And I will see you all on Wednesday. I look forward to that. Yeah, come on, Lyle. Let's dance a little bit. Y'all ready? Here we go. I want y'all to have a good week. Hey. We have fun in the ULHB Hive, baby. We have fun. Love you.